Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with Chris Eubank Jr. at your gym in Brighton and Hove. Bit cold on the seafront, but lovely nonetheless, picturesque, some might say. Wanted to start off just talking about, I'm sure you've been asked these questions before, but how you first got into boxing. So tell us maybe a little bit about your upbringing, your childhood first, and how that kind of led into boxing.
My childhood was anything but the normal story for a typical fighter. I went to private school. I had everything I needed growing up. Lived in a big house. My father obviously made a lot of money during his career, and I was always comfortable. That typically is not the background of a fighter. And he thought that I wouldn't be tough enough. He thought that I was going to be one of those guys who would try the sport, end up getting hurt, and jump out of the ring and never come back. So he thought, I'll save him the effort. Pushed me into, my school work. He said, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a football player. Pretty much just whatever you want except boxing. But there was just something inside me. It was a drive. I'm very competitive. In school, I was involved in every sport that you could think of: swimming, athletics, football, cricket, rugby. And once I found out about boxing, I was like, wow, this seems like it's the ultimate form of competition.
How did you find out about boxing? Was that through your dad and his accomplishments, or at school, or how did you find out that boxing was a thing?
My father always kept me away from it. I wasn't allowed to watch his fights. I never went to his fights. So I went to a sleepover about 11, 12 years old. Went to go and find a VHS tape to watch, looking through the cabinet, and I see my dad on the front cover of one of them. So I was like, what's this? I'm 11 years old, and popped it in, and there he was fighting. And that's how I first was introduced to the sport, and really introduced to what he did for a living. As a kid, I'd always, be around him, see people taking pictures and photographs and signing autographs, and I didn't really get it. I just thought it was just normal for me because I saw it every day. But then once I saw that, I realized, okay, this is what he does. This is why he's so popular. This is why everyone's so drawn to him, because he's this fighter, he's this athlete. And from then I wanted to try it for myself. But for years he blocked me. For years he said no, 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 no. And then about 14 years old, he finally gave up. I remember Lennox coming over to the house. We were all sitting down, and he said, my dad told him, I don't want him fighting. I don't want him fighting. I don't want him to get hurt. And Lennox said, that's like a parent telling their child they can't drive because they don't want them to crash. It just doesn't work like that. You gotta let them find out for themselves. You gotta let them walk their own path. And soon after that, I was in the gym, and I fell in love with the sport. 14 years old, boxing, fighting, training with these guys. All the other sports I was playing just seemed boring, bland. I fell out of. I was playing rugby and running athletics every week, every day even. And after the boxing, I was like, well, I can't go back to that now. Now I'm hooked. This is the ultimate form of competition. So yeah, that's how it all started.